More youth from Baboneau get involved in saving a critical water source, and the riverbanks in the community heavily dependent on farming. A forest officer wants to see signs discouraging the washing of vehicles in rivers. He has had a gun pulled on him when he tried to stop one taxi driver. The Belleville community proudly hosts the 2016 Feast of St. Rose de Lima. We hear from the prince of the host community, Lawas Group, Kendall Elver. Jacmel prepares for hosting Journée Creole 19 years after it first had the honor to show off its cultural attributes. We'll talk to the young committee, now in place for the 2016 celebrations. And Chris Rennick has been associated with the farming community for over half a century. He talks about his contribution to increasing productivity on local farms. Thank you for joining us here on Calabash Community as we continue to report on the relentless efforts of the youth in the Fond Assau area to save the Esnard River, which runs through farmlands and communities. The riverbank has been severely eroded during recent storms, and as a result, a group called the Babonneau Youth Synergy is determined to protect the riverbanks. They are planting fruit trees along the water's edge, all with the permission of farm owners. Joining us on the conversation is one of the lead members of the group.
Aldrich Edward, President of Baboneau Youth Synergy.
All right, Aldrich, once again in a river in Fond Assau area generally. Today, what is different about the activity today?
Today, we're looking to host the different community groups in Baboneau, and the Chassin SDA Church, they've come out so far. We're expecting quite a few more. Also, we have a lot of the children. Those are the ones more utilizing the river. So we involve them just so they get a sense and appreciation of what we're doing.
And today, what part of the river are you planting today?
Yes, so we're in the area of Fond Assau. So we've left Talvan. We're Fond Assau, and pretty soon we're heading down to Chassin, where we end at Fond Assau. Come November, we're expecting a group of 80 or so persons from the cruise ship. They've actually made their recommendations just to be a part of the project, so we're stretching it as much as just to accommodate them.
So just to give us an idea of the numbers today, like how many plants do you have on hand to plant today?
Yes, today we're hoping to plant at least 300 plants, and we have just about 30 or so persons. The numbers are slowly growing. More and more persons are coming in. We're very much appreciative of that, but our target number is 300 today.
And from what I just spoke with Patrick, who's the forest officer, he was giving me an idea of the range of varieties that you have here, this plant species and so on. Explain to us, and when you engage those groups, is there an educational component that they understand what you're doing and that the fact that they need to continue this?
Yes, very much so. We call very often community meetings so persons be aware of what's happening, and of course a sense of appreciation of nature and the environment as well. We have quite a few varieties of plants, but mainly fruits, because the idea is for the farmers themselves to directly benefit economically when these fruits bear. So we're looking at a wide varieties of mangoes, we have wax apples, we have breadfruits, bread nut, there's apricot, and so much more.
Do the farmers that you engage because you're basically on somebody's land, more or less, do you get a feel that they're getting a better appreciation of what you and your group are doing?
Yes, totally, and we've actually had a few of them quarreling, saying that they want that particular species and not that one. They want more citrus, they don't want mangoes, but they really accept the initiative, and they're on board as well.
So this has now become almost like a cause for your group, that you're going to adopt this as your main cause. That's the Babonneau Youth Synergy.
Yes, totally. The name of the project actually speaks for itself. It's called Adopt a River, and this is our very intention. So we have the cleanup campaigns. We're focusing on riverbank rehabilitation, focusing on sustaining water quantity and quality, also sustaining the river ecosystem. Not too long ago, we were doing an assessment with forestry, and we happened to see a lot of crayfish and a lot of fish. I mean, this is something that we've not seen in years, and it was just so heartening, just to see these in the river. So that actually gives more and more of a zeal, to continue that project, and not just in Baboneau, not just in the Fond Assau community, but we're looking at St. Lucia by extension, right? Of course, the dry season is oncoming, and we all know of the water crisis. So we really need that to be somewhat of a pilot project, and we could take it to other communities in St. Lucia.
And finally, how beneficial, how helpful is it to have somebody like Patrick, who's an experienced forester, to be involved, giving hands-on?
Yes, Patrick, I must say hats off to him. He would find the time to he'd find the time to come out. Anytime we call upon him, he'd make the time available to us. He has a wealth of knowledge. I think he's been in that field for almost 40 years now. So having somebody like Patrick on board is a plus for us. But not just Patrick. Let me just also say thank you to Mr. Giles Romulus, Ms. Anela Jamak from the Jeff SGP UNDP. They're the ones who funded the project. Of course, the project has an estimated budget of 107,000 US, and we will be receiving a total of 50,000 US from them. So of course there needs some cause for the public and private sector intervention, just to see the project through, right? So we're calling on the general public, private and sector donor agencies, to come out and support the project. We just halfway there with relation to the budget, so we're just trying to make it stretch as much as we possibly can. But of course, we are eternally grateful to the Jeff SGP UNDP.
All right, we appreciate what you're doing, and we appreciate the efforts, especially of the young persons involved in this. So I wish you all the best in the future.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
A senior forest officer, Patrick Charles, has been assisting and guiding the group in its tree planting activities, which have been sponsored by the Global Environment Fund, GEF, Special Development Projects of the UNDP. For Patrick, this is the second such exercise in the same area. In the previous occasion, most of the trees were destroyed and some cut down by farmers. Just a few survived, and today they serve as testimony to their usefulness. Did some of those trees survive, and do they actually see the actual impact that those trees were having on the area, especially after a heavy storm?
Yeah. Where we are there, we could actually see an exhibit of what we had already planted. You could see the root system. If these trees was not there, you could actually see that these things that would have dig more inside, and then maybe the bank that would have been more destructive outside there. So you could see the purpose of it. It's serving it at the moment, both sides of the river. These are the Gimalina mixed with mahogany. That's what we are.
So did those farmers actually see that, and do they now have a better understanding of what you're trying to do?
The people do understand what we're trying to do, but again, people always depend on government for something, and then when government is passing and just putting things just to suit themselves, and they don't get no profit out of it. On the side, you might get one or two people will go along vulnerable and just to destroy what you put in there, which will be good for them. But again, what we are doing there, I think they are appreciating it. And they're embracing that. And as a matter of fact, we don't just put it on your land. We come to you, we have a dialogue with you, and then ask you your wish. And from there, we polish it with you. Yeah.
Now we saw you today almost given a kind of a lesson on how to plant those things with some of those children. First of all, what do you think of having those young kids at that early age get to understand how you plant properly? And secondly, how critical is it? Because you were saying about the line where the plants breathe and the depth of the hole. So explain that little science to us.
Yeah, well, again, there it's good for the youths to be inside that game, because in a community, you see, you find everybody that there they serve a purpose. But getting a child at that age, you saw the child with the yellow t-shirt that came there, at that age, which can't even fully hold a plant, the weight of the plant, and to put it in the hole. That child, as she grow, or he, will appreciate whatever that is still continuing there. And I think they will be the future for the group, because by having them so early, they will embrace the group and that activity in a more respectable manner, because we have one there that doing the work, but again in between we'll find one job. But the majority at that age, frankly, Bernard, that would do good for us, man.
Talk to us a little bit about the value of this river to this area and also to our water supply.
Well, the purpose is for the community, for every community where it reach. The people normally use this water. They use it for agricultural purpose, for irrigation. They use it also for sewage and things, because they have a lot of smallest people along the road there. You'll be surprised to see that they have an irrigation system connected to the river and to the washroom, to everything they will do inside, but not for drinking. Bathing, washing and this stuff, but they will not use it for drinking. They use that also for washing, going to the river, who has the access to reach there and wash. Some of them who has a vehicle, which we do not really support that part of it. We condemn that part, which is driving the river and then washing your vehicle. We do not support that part of it. I have found myself in problem with fellas, people at de la Maison, where when you pass in there, every day you'll pass there, you'll see a vehicle in that river washing, and people don't care what happened to people in bogies. And I have to stand there every time I pass there and to try and educate people, to preach, to counsel, to talk, to educate. And sometimes I get, at one time a man even try and raise a gun on us. And he had his dog bathing in the river, and that time they had a drought. Come from and play cricket bogies, the bar, and from there we stopped. When I saw that, I stopped. Then from there, it happened where he take his gun, and when I walked to him and I show him, and I talked to him concerning what he was doing, he was not pleased. Then he started to give me some kind of attitude.
So that draws attention to the fact that we need to have widespread education on this still, even in 2016 and beyond.
We need to, not just education alone, we need to put some science too. We need to develop some science to put it, especially places like La Maison when I speak there, places like here. Because normally, sometimes when they come here, they block the river. They put some plywood to the culvert, and then they use it like a bash. This is not good enough. You know, that create havocs at the bottom. Another place will dry out, and then the fishes in the sea, in the river, sorry. Some of them will not feel comfortable with that. So these are the things we need to put some science to govern and to guide as this group develops.
Of course, we will continue to monitor the progress of the Baboneau Youth Synergy. If you know of a group in your area doing the same thing or thinking about it, please let us know. Send us an email at calabashtvstlucia@gmail.com. We will pause here for a moment and return with more from Calabash Community.